So we are studying customs law, and for customs law in 1962 the act was passed. This is Customs Act 1962. So it deals with what? Import and export, any trade and commerce with foreign countries. Sometimes you have to control your imports, maybe you have to control your exports. The main purpose actually at the back of customs law was to protect Indian industries. So that the things which Indian industries can produce here in India should not be imported. Because the things which you can produce in India, and if you import those things, then the local industry will be destroyed. Correct? So the law was passed to protect local industries. But there are main purpose of the act is to, like any other tax law, main purpose is to collect revenue, duties. But in addition, see, like income tax, main purpose is what? To collect revenue. GST, main purpose to collect revenue. But Customs Act has got some special other purposes. Correct? In addition to collection of tax law. So what are the other purposes? Number one, you can write, number one, regulation of imports and exports. Remember, you have to give the collection of revenue is common in any other tax law. But in addition to collection of revenue for the government, Customs Act has 4 other special purposes. That special, it is not there in any other acts. The special act, custom law, custom act. So those 4, number one is regulation of import and export. What does it mean? You have to control your import, you have to control your export to develop the industry, Indian industry, and ultimately Indian economy. You have seen lots of projects have come in India by the government, like Make in India, now Make in Assam. These things are coming. Why? So that our local industries can develop. Local industries develop means it is contribution to the economy. So the special purpose number one is regulation of import and exports. Number two, protection of domestic industry. I told you that domestic industry must be protected, because in the British period, what happened, lots of industries, or almost all the industries, were destroyed by the British government. They wanted to sell their own products here, and they destroyed our industries. This happened when in 1947 India became independent. It was found that Indian economy is very much underdeveloped. So from the underdeveloped stage, how industry should come up to the developed stage, this process is going on by the government till now. Now it's going on. How we can come from underdeveloped to developing, and from developing to developed. And for making developed industry, the recent project is Viksit Bharat 2047, remember? Isn't it? Viksit Bharat 2047 is the main aim, because in 1947 we got our independence, and in 2047 we are going to have 100 years. So from now we are having 24 years to reach 2047. And these 24 years, in fact, since 2023, it is 25 years. The 25 years has been termed as Amrit Kal by the government, by the respected Prime Minister. This is Amrit Kal. This is the best period. So during this best period, all attempts, all efforts, all activities should be done so that India becomes developed in 2047 or even before that. So that is the main thing of Viksit Bharat 2047. So the protection of Indian industry, this is also a part of this. Because if your industry is not protected, then how can you become developed? Third objective is prevention of smuggling. Prevention of smuggling. This is a very important, dangerous point, smuggling. It destroys, the smugglers destroy the economy. So Customs Act has been passed in 1962. The purpose, one of the purposes is prevention of smuggling also, this is one point. And number 4, you write, conservation and augmentation of foreign exchange and so on. Conservation and augmentation of foreign exchange and so on. So these are the purposes of Customs Act. So in brief, once again you listen. Apart from collection of revenue, customs law has got some 4 special purposes. Specially, sum up. Number 1, regulation of imports and exports. Number 2, protection of Indian industry. Number 3, prevention of smuggling. And number 4, conservation and augmentation of foreign exchange. You know, more we have foreign exchange is good for the country. If you purchase too much from outside, then foreign exchange will be reduced from the foreign exchange reserve. So if you can increase your foreign exchange as much as possible, then you can have more power, economic power. So that has to be controlled, that has to be conserved, that should be preserved and augmented. So this act is there. So many purposes are there. And one more thing, Section 12 of the Custom Act provides what? Let me tell. Section 12, we write Section 12. Section 12 of the Customs Act provides that duties of customs shall be levied at such rate as may be specified under Custom Tariff Act 1975 and other applicable acts on goods imported into and exported from India. Remember, in 1975, one more act was passed. You can write later on. In 1975, you have to read that also. Customs Act was passed in 1962. Okay. In 1975, another act was passed in connection with customs. That act you have to remember, Custom Tariff Act 1975. Rates, this describes on which goods what will be the rate of import and what will be the rate of export duty. So we have to study both the acts. Main act is Customs Act 1962 and the ancillary act is Custom Tariff Act 1975. And that is specially concentrated on fixing the rates of the goods and services which are imported or exported like that. So we shall learn even that. So this is a very brief idea about customs law. Customs law is to protect the Indian industries. Customs law is meant for developing Indian economy. Customs law, like any other indirect tax law, the purpose is to collect revenue. But in addition, this is the act, Customs Act, with special purposes. I've told you those 4 or 5 purposes. Those purposes are not there in other tax laws. So Customs Act is very important. Hope you understood. Okay. So we'll come up with another video after some time.